What's up, everybody? This is Wacy. First episode of the Talkin Nonsense podcast. This podcast will be basically just me sitting down with people and talking about life, anything that comes to our mind, just spending some time together. It'll be a lot of local people, I would imagine. I've got a lot of friends out of town, everywhere else, and we'll just kind of have some fun with it and see what happens. I'm sure this first one will be a little rocky because I really am pretty new to this, don't know what I'm doing. As you guys can see, my first guest on the first episode is my wife. She told me she did not want to be on the thing, but I told her she's going to do the first one with me anyway because that's just how we're going to do it. So we've kind of got a few things that we thought we could maybe talk about. Some of it is like our personal experiences and things that we've done, but there's times where we may get into political stuff. I know a lot of people don't like politics, but I don't really care. That's what we're here for, so if you like it, you'll listen. If you don't, you won't, and that's okay. But the whole show will not be about politics. Just some things, kind of what's going on in the world, because as everybody knows, everything's so crazy right now that nobody really knows what's going on anywhere anyway. So yeah, with that being said, I guess we'll just kind of get into it. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, my name is Kaitlynn. We've been married for how long? 10 years now?
You gotta ask me.
10 years now?
Usually it's the guy that forgets.
Yeah, I'm guilty of
10
that.
years, yep. 10 years, been together 13, married for 10.
Yep, it's been a minute.
You might need to put that mic a little closer to your mouth.
We have 2 kids together.
Yep.
They're pretty good. They're pretty great kids.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Got one right now we're dealing with. She's catching that cold and everything everybody else has got going around. There's been a couple of kids in the school that's been out for a week because they've been sick, but I guess it's that time of year, you know, when they wear their Crocs outside with no socks and no coat.
Bound to happen.
It's kind of what's going to happen, So yeah, I guess maybe for those people that don't know, we could kind of give our backstory and how we met and everything else. That might be kind of fun to share with people. The only ones that know are the ones we know close, I guess. But so I believe I was headed to Wendover with a couple of friends. Me and Weston. We was waiting for another kid to meet up with us. He was going to ride out there with us, and so we drove into the mall. Was it the Provo Mall?
The Provo Mall.
Provo Mall. And we saw a store, Edge Clothing. Neither one of us, or was it Edge Clothing or just Edge?
Yeah, the Edge Custom Shop.
Edge Custom Shop, that's right. We had never heard of that before, so we thought, man, let's go in there and check that out. So we get in there, and it's clothing. So we start shopping around, and pretty soon Kaitlynn comes over and asks if she can help us with anything. And we had her get us a couple of shirts. We tried on, 4 or 5 different shirts. And kind of small talk a little bit, you know, told you was on our way to Wendover. And I found one that I liked, so I went up to pay for it, and I don't remember if I just straight up asked you.
You just straight up asked.
Yeah, I think I just asked her, hey, it was actually my cousin's birthday. Kyle DeFay, it was coming up his birthday weekend. And I says, hey, would you want to come and hang out at my cousin's birthday party? I said, it's in Tabiona, so it's a couple hours away, and we're just going to do it at the little bar up there. And what did you say?
I said, how old do you think I am?
Yeah, she asked me, how old do you think I am? And instantly my heart dropped. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm thinking, I just asked a 16-year-old girl to come hang out at a bar.
I was still fresh out of the minivan.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. I said, well, just tell me you're over 18. she says, yeah, I'm 19. I was like, oh, perfect. Well, you can't get in the bar, but we could still hang out, I guess. And you told me, yeah, or I said, can I get your number? And I believe I gave you my phone.
Yeah, I typed it in.
And I remember specifically saying, listen, if it's a fake number, just don't even waste my time. It's fine if you don't want to give me your real number. And you said, no, it really is. I says, all right, well, I'm going to call you right now then. So I did. Phone rang. I was like, dang, all right.
Sure enough.
So, and the funny thing is, we walked out of the store, and Weston, the first thing he says, how the heck did you even dare ask her? I'm like, dude, I don't know. But just keep walking before she changes her mind and calls us back in and says, never mind, or blocks my number or something. So anyway, that's how we met. And then that following weekend, we went to the Monster Jam at well, it's now the Delta Center. We'll just call it the Delta Center. It's had several names, but we went to that, and I'm pretty sure that we hung out every weekend after that.
And we never stopped.
Yeah, every weekend. And like we said, we dated for 3 years, right? Yeah, 3 years. And then we got married in August of 2015.
Had Brooklyn in 14.
Yep, Brooklyn was born in 2014. And yeah, we've just been plugging along ever since. So
But then Boston joined us in 2016.
yep,
That was
we've
cool.
lived a few different places. We lived in first off in Duchesne. I was working in the oil field at the time, so a couple different places there in Duchesne, and then the oil field kind of died, and there was a big layoff, and we ended up moving. I think we stuck around for a few months, but there just really wasn't any work out here in the basin, so we moved out to Riverton, Harriman, kind of right on the border. Lived in that apartment for a year and a half,
Something
2
like
years. And then we bought our first house in Riverton. Lived there for about 4 years, roughly. And then we built our house in Eagle Mountain in 2020 or 21?
that. 20.
2020. Lived there for almost 4 years, and then we decided that the city was too much, too busy.
Too angry.
I had already decided that long before that, but it was funny because after we lived in Duchesne the first time and we moved back, your words were, I'll never live there. I'll never move back out there, ever.
But I think that's something to mention is what we were living in.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have the best living arrangements. I mean, at that time, the oil field was really busy, and the living was,
Impossible to find.
yeah, there was not much available at all. So kind of just one of those things, we took what we could get. But I remember when we moved back out, I remember thinking, well, I guess this is it. I guess I'm stuck in the city, because I was pretty certain that unless it was up to you, we were just going to be together. So I was like, well, I guess we're going to adjust to the city life. So, and then, I don't know, it would have been, so we've been back here, it'll be 2 years in March. So it would have been 23. So probably about, it was still in 22. I'd say closer to the end of 2022, you said, you know what, I think it's time to move to Tabby. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I just kind of, actually you texted me. I was at work and you sent me that text, and I'm thinking, what the heck? Had to read it again. I'm like, is she serious? And we got home and talked about it, and you had said that it was time, and I'm like, shoot, don't threaten me with a good time. I'm all in. So I was running my Matco Tools truck at the time, and I had been trying to transfer to come out here and run it in the basin. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. So I told her, well, we sold off the business, got rid of everything. I told her, as soon as I can find a job out there, then we'll go. So I was able to find one. Moved out here with Dad for a while, which was hard.
Some character building.
It was hard. I'm sure it was hard for Dad too, coming in and
Having kids back.
taking his space, but so thankful that he allowed us to come back and stay there while we had a plan. We wanted to find some ground and build a house, and we couldn't really go the route that we originally wanted to go. But I think overall, the house we ended up buying and the little bit of land that's with it, I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of our little backstory of how we met and where we're at now, and constantly busy with the kids, the sports. It seems like as soon as one sport ends, another one starts, and which is good. Keeps them busy, but man, it also keeps us busy. It's constantly chasing, and now that I've started coaching the junior high girls with Chase, it's even more busy.
So we figured why not start not one podcast?
Yeah,
but two.
yeah. Let's try 2 podcasts.
Perfect.
And I guess since we mentioned that, the other podcast, my cousin Dally DeFay, we have started one where we're going to be covering the 1A sports in Utah. So we just recorded our first episode of that one last night. And both of these should be uploaded by tomorrow or Monday at the latest, possibly tomorrow. But it's funny because I've been saying for about 4 or 5 years, that I wanted to do the podcast, a podcast. At the time, I wasn't quite sure what to do, what to talk about, what to base it on. But some of the guys that I listen to, one in particular is Joe Rogan, and I really like the way he does his podcast. Just brings people in, and they just talk, And so I thought, man, that'd be fun. Like all my friends, like we talk anyway. We'll sit down and we'll have a conversation. That's kind of what sparked the one with Dally. We was up there about a year ago. I think it was a year ago. And his wife, well, we were just talking about basketball. I think we went up after a game. And his wife says, I have a question. Would you ever want to do a podcast with Dally about sports? I'm like, yeah, I would. And I kind of told them how I've been thinking about it. And anyway, so that's how that got all started. But we will keep the podcast separate, but it doesn't hurt to mention it on here and let people know that might be interested in the sports world of Utah, the 1A. Right now it's boys and girls basketball, and we'll see how that goes. But last night's episode was pretty fun to do, so I'm sure these ones will be just as fun. But anyway, I've rattled on for quite a while, and you haven't said much, so why don't you go ahead? I'm going to get me a little drink here.
Oh my. Well, let's read us a topic here that you've chosen.
Oh, so that was your 10 seconds of fame right there, huh?
It sure was.
Turn it right back over to me. Okay. All right. Did you not do any topics?
I have one. It's pretty deep. So if
Well,
you want to start
let's
off
start
with
deep. What do you got?
it, is freedom actually real?
Is freedom real? That could go very deep.
Yeah.
Could go very deep.
That was my one topic.
Is it?
I don't think it is.
No. What makes you think that? Why don't
Because you can be a slave to chemical dopamine. You could be a slave to, food. You could be a slave to your government. You don't know.
I think a lot of us know.
You might know, but you can't help it.
There's a particular podcast that I listen to. It's called Real AF. It's Andy Frisella. If you guys don't know who he is, he originally started with, I guess, health supplements is what you would call him. He is the owner and founder of First Form. He's now branched out, does energy drinks as well. And but anyway, I listen to his podcast once a week, and he has actually on the Real AF, he has like 4 different segments that he does 4 different days. But the one I listen to, they call it CTI, Cruise the Internet, and they just kind of talk about the topics that are going on in the country, in the world. And it's very interesting. If that's stuff you guys are interested in, I would definitely suggest that podcast. It's not for, how do I say it? Some people may not enjoy the way they talk. They do curse a lot. Some episodes way more than others, but usually with Andy, when he curses, he's fired up. Because he's very passionate. He loves America. He loves the people of America, but he's very frustrated with a lot of the things that's going on. But where I was getting at with this podcast is one thing that he says all the time, because, we always hear we're the freest country in the world and all this. Well, If you ask him, we're not. We're basically tax slaves. Because people, I don't know how many people realize we pay a lot of money in taxes. A lot of money. He likes to say about 50%, which I don't think he's far off. Because if you think about it, you have your income tax, which is not 50%. But if you add on everything else, the food tax, the gas tax, the sales tax, the tax.
Property
Did you
tax.
know that some states, I don't remember which ones he said, this would have to be searched and looked, but some states have a death tax.
It's going to cost you money to die.
Yeah. If you have whatever money you have when you die in certain states, your people you leave behind, whether it's a wife, a kid, or whoever, family member, it's taxed. I don't know the percentage of it, but it's taxed. So
That adds up, because that means you have to buy your coffin, you have to buy your plot, then you have to pay your tax.
well, and I would imagine that the
That's expensive.
life insurance,
Oh,
I can imagine. I mean, it's got to be taxed. Everything's taxed. Everything.
I'm glad to be naive of this problem.
To be what?
Naive of this
You,
problem.
you're a little hard to hear. You might
Oh.
have to speak up just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be naive of that problem.
Let me try to turn you up just a little bit. It's hard because there's sometimes with these podcasts, and I listen to Tucker a lot, Tucker Carlson. I really like Tucker. I always have. But sometimes I have to take a break because it's a lot.
It's hard to know the world's problems.
But the guys that do this, Candace Owens, another one that Carly listens to a lot. I haven't listened to her, and it's only because I'm caught up in the ones that I do listen to. My whole week is catching up on them, so I don't branch out a whole lot. But the stuff they talk about, they're usually spot on. Like they understand how to read people. They can see what's coming. That's one cool thing about Andy. I've been listening to him probably for about 3 years maybe. I know Carly's listened to him a lot longer than that. She's actually the one that told me about him. Said that she thought I'd really like him. And it's crazy because he will talk about, and they get their stories right from actual stories. This isn't, a lot of it is, so they give their opinions, but they give their opinions based off of actual stories, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I would dare say, 9 times out of 10, if not 9.5 out of 10, he's right. I mean, there's been things where he'll say, you watch, this is what's going to happen. If this continues the way it is, this will be the outcome. And almost every time it is. And it's unbelievable how somebody has that ability to kind of see ahead and see what's going on.
It's impressive.
I keep trying to look over at you, but I sat here with Dolly last night, and oh man, I've got a kink in my neck that will not let me turn. So
I like sitting back because I can look at you, look at the camera, and then look at myself.
and that works, And eventually, as you guys can see, we're doing this on our couch in our house at the infamous Giles studio. But eventually, we're gonna have a good spot. We're gonna build us a little spot outside, and
Super quiet, don't have to hide.
yeah, we don't have to shove the kids in the bedroom, and we'll have plenty of space and good lighting where we don't have one right here shining right in the background, right in your face. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of things, when it comes to freedom that it really makes you think about things, and it makes you wonder, are we free? And
Yeah.
there's so many different levels of freedom, like the ones to be honest, when you said freedom, the first thing that came to my mind was the whole tax thing that I always
Political.
hear. Yeah, and then you mentioned other things that I didn't even.
It's deep.
Oh yeah, that didn't even cross my mind about all those things you mentioned.
There's so many things that you can be a slave to.
Yeah. Well, and kind of like you said too, a slave to the government, which that's kind of taxes too. But people call it propaganda. You call it whatever you want, but what's crazy to me is there's so many people that are so stuck on one I don't even know if you call it a belief system or
Like stance or
the party. There's people that are strictly Republican Party, and the Republicans can say no wrong, they can do no wrong, and then there's people the same with the Democrat Party.
I mean, how come people aren't just asking questions?
Well, and that's what's crazy to me is why do we care? Like why can't we all just be here for each other? And all the tension between, it's always something about race, it's always something about negative. Like there's never any good discussions from whether it be the news or it's just always, it's like, man, what are we doing?
Well,
What?
the news scrutinizes everything.
And I think a lot of people know that too. There's not a whole lot of trust in the media anymore. The people that are, I guess, podcasts or even X. A lot of them use X now, but that's kind of where the media comes from now, because especially X. When Elon bought X and made it so that there was no censorship on anything. Um, and I don't know if you ever go on there. I've been on there. I go on, not very often, but once in a while I'll open it up and kind of look around, and man, it's kind of a nasty place. But it's also, which another topic that I have is free speech, which is why Elon bought Twitter at the time, is because he didn't want censorship, wanted people to be able to say what they wanted to say, which I mean that's how our country was founded. That's the First Amendment. That's how it should be. But we've gotten into this thing to where if somebody doesn't agree with someone else, then all of a sudden they need to be canceled or they need to be censored, and they're like all these, the bigots and the ist words, and there's 45 different words that people get labeled as because they don't agree with somebody. But
Just doing too much.
yeah, I just think, just as people, we just need to be better to each other. I mean, it's not hard. It's really not. I know people that, as far as politics go, they are on the complete other side of things from me. A good friend of mine, I haven't talked to him for a long time, but I used to work with him, Travis. You remember Travis?
Oh yeah.
He was a complete opposite of me when it came to politics.
He was a blast. He was a great person.
Yeah, I mean, he votes Democrat. I don't know who he voted for last time. I didn't ask. It's none of my business. But to sit there and talk with the guy, and we would talk about this kind of stuff, but there was never any heated arguments. It was just kind of like, oh, I don't know, I don't really agree with that. This is kind of how I feel. And the best thing about it is, at the end of the day, it was always like, all right, man, we'll see you tomorrow. Like,
And everyone was cool.
yeah, we were fine. Come back in the next day, and we didn't always talk about politics. Like, he was just a good dude. Is a good dude, I mean, but to me, that was awesome to be able to, because I think he's probably the first person that I've ever been around close enough to get to know that is completely opposite. But I say completely opposite, but there were a lot of things that we did think the same about. We did agree on, and thought, oh, that's a good thing, or no, that's really not a good thing. But it was just so cool to have somebody that had a lot of different beliefs and ideas and thoughts and political party, or all that kind of stuff, but we were still really good friends. Like, he's a guy that I would go out to dinner with, or go and hang out or whatever we might do. Well, we had that Christmas party when we worked at Savage Sweets,
What a time.
and we spent the whole night hanging out with him and his wife over on the other side. Everybody was bowling. We had the whole bowling alley to ourselves, but we spent the whole night over there, and it was just a blast. And that's what makes it so hard for me to, like, why can't people
Put aside
Yeah,
these
why
views.
exactly? Why can't everybody be like that? You don't have to agree on everything. Everybody that knows me, they know that I voted for Trump every time he's ran. But I don't agree with everything. Like I just told you the other day, I've been a little frustrated with Trump with certain things. But you don't have to agree with everything of the person that you say support and follow when it comes to politics. But that politics is what has gotten us so far away from each other, to where everybody just wants to fight all the time, and it just, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and like, how boring of a world You have to be the same in every single way.
Yeah,
That's so boring.
Could you imagine if we all agreed on everything?
Ew.
It would. It would be so boring. So terrible.
Rather not.
Yeah, I don't. But you know, that one day we got really talking about free speech, because a lot of what you hear now is, oh, that's hate speech. Well, me personally, I don't believe in hate speech. And the reason being is just because of free speech. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But it's that person, whoever it might be, they have the right to say whatever they want. With that being said, that doesn't mean that there may not be consequences for what you choose to say. And if there's consequences, there's consequences. You know, sometimes there should be. But that doesn't mean that somebody should be censored because they, you know, we saw this whole censorship thing. And a lot of people don't want to admit it, but a lot of, what do you call them? Like podcasters and right-wing people, there was a lot of censorship on them. I mean, there have been stories that had come out that Zuckerberg on Facebook finally admitted that he was contacted and said that certain people needed to be censored. They kicked Alex Jones completely off of every social media platform there was.
I did not know that.
And Alex Jones, I'll tell you what, he's an interesting guy. He's
got some crazy clips out there.
He does. But that's the problem too, clips.
Yeah.
People take clips just to show you, look how crazy this guy is.
Makes him look a certain way.
But if you go find whatever it is that he's on right there and find where that clip came from and listen to the whole thing, it's usually a completely different story than what you get from the clip.
Which is just like the news.
Yeah, and they do that with Tucker a lot too. They'll take clips from Tucker because he says some things that if you only played the clip, you'll be like, what the heck? Like if I didn't listen to him all the time, I'd be like, holy crap, I can't believe he just said that. But most of the time what he's saying is it will be like not a quote, but like sometimes like a person, well, they think this, so this is kind of how they act, but the words he uses, like I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but the way he words it, if you were to hear the clip, you'd be like, holy crap, this dude is out of his freaking mind.
Cancel him.
Exactly. And he got fired from Fox because he was just being himself and saying what he believes, and which he will tell you that that's the best thing that ever happened to him was leaving Fox and, you know, getting his own stupid little fly. Can't even leave us alone for 5 minutes. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, the whole free speech thing, it's just crazy because that's kind of what's happened now too, is if you say something that they don't agree with, it's hate speech. You know, or you're a racist, or you're a, like, I hear a lot of these guys talk about certain things, and they say a lot of the things that when they say it, I'm like, well, yeah, I agree with that. But these guys are getting called racist for saying it. So I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, then they're essentially calling me racist. And I am not even close to racist. I actually don't believe that the racism is out there like they say it is. Because you go to places, any kind of sporting event, like if you go to a jazz game or you go to a concert or you go to anything like that, a big social gathering, there are all different kinds of people there. And I never see an issue with race, ever. I mean, we're only in Salt Lake City, but Salt Lake City is a fairly decent sized city. And I would imagine that in some of these bigger cities, like, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, because it does, but I also believe that it exists in more than one race, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of times it gets thrown out there that white people are so racist, and it's like,
well, they're racist for just existing, it seems like.
Well, yeah, and it's like some of these politicians, like when you hear them talk certain things, I don't know if they don't realize it or if they think that we don't understand it or that we don't realize it, But some of the things they say is like the definition of racism. But they're trying to advocate against racism. And it's like, you don't even make any sense. What you just said is racist, but you're telling me that I'm racist because I think this or something. But that all kind of just circles back to what I said in the beginning. Why do we even care? Why? And I don't think most people do. I really don't think most people give a crap where you're from, what color your skin is.
What you look like.
Yeah,
why is it relevant?
Exactly. Why is it relevant? We're all here for the same purpose, But I don't know. It's wild. It's definitely something that I wish could get better, that could change.
Like when people say, "Oh, that white girl," I'm like, why do you have to mention that part? Why is that relevant?
Well, and you know what's funny?
Describe what she's wearing or whatever.
So with you saying that, it's funny too, because I know I have countless times I've been like, oh, that black guy over there. And I don't mean anything by that. And I don't know why I say that. And I don't say it all the time, but I don't know why. But I do know that it has nothing to do with him being black. I don't know if it's just easier to point him out. I don't know. I really don't know. But both sides of that, like what you just said, because I hear that too, and it's not always that white woman or that white man. It's sometimes, like I just said, that black guy or that. Why can't you just be like, oh, it's that guy over there wearing the blue shirt, like.
Right, with the baseball hat.
But I think a lot of times people don't mean anything by it. But there are some times when people say that, and I guess it kind of depends on what's said after that white guy or that black guy, or because then you can kind of be like,
does it turn derogatory?
Yeah, like, well, why couldn't you just say the guy over there? But I don't really hear that a lot.
It's drowning out, I would dare say.
And here in Tabby, it's so freaking small that we pretty much only see the people here. Like, we don't venture out much anymore. If we leave here, we go to your parents' house or your grandma's house.
Yeah.
Which we don't do as much as we need to.
Shame on us. Sorry, Grandma.
Yeah, sorry.
Love you.
But
love you, Grandpa.
But that's also kind of what we talked about before, the schedule. I swear we never stop.
Yeah.
You always think, oh, once we get here, things will slow down.
And the next thing you know, the next sport starts.
They might slow down for 2 days, and then you're like, what happened? Now we're right back in full swing.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully some of this crap can change and people can just get along. And I think it'd be awesome if in the next election, if not a single person showed up to vote. Not a single person. Like, what would they do?
That would make me nervous.
What would they do? I don't know what would happen. It might be a bad thing. I don't know.
Think that people would still show up.
Well, they will. People will.
Would still show up.
I'm sure I will. I know I will. I vote every election.
Oh, I meant the dead people.
Oh, yeah, they'll still show up. That's for sure. They're
voting.
They're faithful. Yeah, they don't miss an election.
Dedicated.
That's for dang sure.
Dedicated.
Dedicated. I see what you did there. That was nice.
Comedy night.
Good play. Well, we said the whole thing wasn't going to be about politics, and our first segment kind of took us there, and that might have been my fault. I don't know if that's where you were trying to go with freedom, but
just the deepness.
Yeah.
Mine was very deep, but that's all.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Well, another thing that I wrote down that I thought would be fun to talk about was our hunting season this year.
Yeah.
Man, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. We had a good year.
A lot of time.
It was tough. We did have a lot of time. We bought that new elk tag that went from, well, we didn't even know it started in August.
Yeah, here in Utah, it's new this year.
Yeah. Private land only for an any bull. So being up here, I can think of one spot right off the top of my head that is not hayfields that's private. Well, two actually. And the one I went to, you didn't go with me that night, up there above the ranch, the hill right above the corral. It's behind hayfields and it kind of leads to hayfields, but it's a big draw that they kind of travel through. But then the other one is up above Hannah, the bottom end of Squaw Creek. But that made it kind of tough up here because a lot of it is fields, and we've only got 3 fields that we are able to shoot in. Well, 4. We ended up finding the 4th one where we both ended up getting our bulls.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was trying to squeeze that in along with everything else. The deer season was great. We did the dedicated hunter this year for the first year, and you
learned
shot.
How to bottle.
You what?
I learned how to bottle.
Learned how to bottle deer meat,
Deer
and it
meat
worked
machine.
out fantastic.
Invested in our future with those bottles.
Yep, the bottles. We bought a meat grinder. We bought
The pressure cooker.
both elk that we killed. We processed the entire thing ourselves.
And we still saved money.
Grounded it, put it all, packaged it, froze it, and I mean that's work. that's a lot of work.
It really is, but it was worth it, and it was fun.
It was fun, and the cool thing, you shot your first deer. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago?
Something
It could have
like
been
that.
4. It's been a little bit. Over in the Camas unit, we hunted over there. Our friends Chris and Nicole allowed us to stay at their little house up there on the Mirror Lake Highway, and actually allowed us to take their side-by-side too.
Yeah, very generous of them. Thanks, guys.
And got him on our way out.
Yeah,
We were headed back.
Last day.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
we were headed back, and last day for us. The hunt still was going to go, but it was the last day we had to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And seen him up on the hillside, and it's funny because we knew he wasn't very big.
Oh.
And I remember telling you, hey, it's up to you. He's not very big. If you want to take him, take him. And you decided to take him. Got out, got the gun.
Was so small.
Well, I was sitting there looking. I'm watching in the binos, and I'm like, is she going to shoot? And I looked down. I'm like, oh, I don't know. She's looking at it. I'll bet you sat on that buck for a good 30 seconds at least, which
Oh, yeah.
doesn't seem like a long time, but it is a long time when you're in that situation. And finally the shot popped off, and he went down, and
One shot.
one shot. And I remember, like, I was excited. I'm like, heck yeah. And we went up the hillside, got him, drug him back down. I made you gut him.
I don't remember being jittery. I don't feel like I had that buck fever or whatever people call it.
You're not, because fast forward to this year, you got an awesome buck, a buck that a lot of people here in town has watched for 2 years. I've watched him since we moved back for 2 years.
He's beautiful.
Really solid buck, but every time I seen him, he was on the other side of the road, which our tag was not good for. And then that was still wild to me. Just come back from vaccinating cows and calves in Fruitland.
Had no intention.
No.
Honestly, we were out all day.
Yeah. All
tired,
day.
working on cows.
And I remember about halfway across the stairs, I was like, well, we can look and see if there's anything in the field. And we turned off of 208 onto 35, which right there at the corner of the ranch. I could already see deer. And so I kind of hurried down, pulled in the haystack, got out, got the binoculars, and there was bucks, several bucks. So I come back. I'm like, hey, there's bucks in there. Do you want to shoot? And your answer,
I said, nah.
no, go ahead. I'm like, what? Okay.
I'm good.
So I thought, well, there's at least one decent in there. I'll go get the gun. And so I got it, went over, got set up, looked at them all, picked the biggest one, got him.
I videoed him. I videoed him.
Yeah, got it on video.
Timestamped at 7:02 p.m.
Yeah, got it on video. And then my first phone call was to trusty old Slim. He's probably sick of me calling him for help. He's always bailing us out, helping us, I should say. But I called him, hey, come down here and help us get this buck. He's like, all right, I'll be there. So comes down, we get him lifted up and get the knives out and get ready to gut him out. And just out of the corner of my eye, over off to the side, I see deer coming back in the field. I'm like, there's no way. So I get the binoculars I told you. I said, get the binoculars and see what they are. And he said, well, they're all bucks. I'm like, what? Because I could tell there was a handful of deer.
Every
like,
single
what?
one of them.
So Slim hears you say that. He grabs the binoculars, pulls them up, holy crap, that one on the left is a lot bigger than the one you just shot. And I was like, get the gun. Well, first off, me, because your gun was at home, right?
Yeah, I'm using your
And so
gun.
I happened to be on the phone with Jake at the time, and he was telling me that they tried to get a hold of someone to get permission to shoot in there, and they couldn't get him to answer the phone because they saw the buck you shot, as well as Kaylee. Kaylee seen him too.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm on the phone with Jake, and I'm like, well, hey, there's more deer that just walked in the field. Bring her on down. And not even realizing that, duh, you can shoot my gun. It doesn't have to be your gun. So finally it hit, and I was like, well, get the gun and get ready. And man, it was right down to the wire. The sun was down, but it was still light. But we got right down to the seconds of running out of time to be able to shoot.
Yeah, I would dare say if I waited 15 more seconds.
Yeah, I mean,
there'd
it
be
was,
no way.
we were losing it. And he
No
wouldn't
way I could
turn.
see him.
He
No.
wouldn't turn. He kept facing us. And the craziest thing is, I don't know exactly how far. I'm going to say 50 yards. Because they weren't that far away. All 8 of them were bucks.
We had 4 kids in the field.
Little Decker. Decker's running around, Mom, hold me, hold me.
Cannon wanting to be held.
And
as
I'm
well.
sitting there thinking, holy crap, they're going to scare them. Craziest thing is not one of those bucks picked their head up out of that field.
Did
Their
not
nose
have a
dragging in that
single
hay.
one.
They didn't even care that we were there. And then, right there at the end, I finally told you, look, he's not going to turn. So if he looks one way or the other, just aim for the neck. And it wasn't 5 seconds after I said that. He turns and looks to the right. And again, one shot just dumped him. And I'm not kidding you. So when I say I was excited on the first one, I was.
Mm-hmm.
But when you shot this one, my excitement was times 10 of what I had when I shot mine 30 minutes before that.
That's awesome.
I was like, I remember thinking, I'm like, I don't care if I ever shoot another thing, ever. I would rather just sit and watch you shoot it.
That is so cool.
And then next year we have Brooke. Brooke's going to be able to hunt next year.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
And
in fact,
Austin wants to do a turkey.
oh, that kid. I'll bet he asks me 3 times a week, do I just have to do hunter safety so I can shoot a turkey?
In case it's changed in the last 48
Yeah, right.
hours.
I'm like, well, that's one step, but you got to be old enough too, which I don't know what the age is, to be honest with you, because I know when they changed the big game down to 12, that's what small game used to be. So I don't know if they moved small game down 2 years like they did big game. Obviously we'll find out before next year, because he wants to do that hunter safety. But yeah, it was so exciting for me to watch you shoot the deer. And then on the elk hunt, I was lucky enough to be able to go up before work and kind of check the field and whatever, and Ryan and I had went up there one morning, and there was he wasn't huge, but he was a decent 6-point, and couldn't get a shot at him. So we left, went down the road a little bit farther, and waited by Guy's house, because that's one of their paths. They'll come up and go through Guy's and then head back onto the Indian ground. And sure enough, they started working their way up there. Well, the morning that they're going the way we want them to go, that we're waiting, we have concrete loads.
Why not?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be there at 7. It's about 6:40-ish. And Ryan calls Jake and he's like, hey, do we have to start loading at 7? Like, do you need us there right at 7? And I don't know what Jake said, but Ryan says, well, we've got these bulls coming into Guys right here. They're here. We just need them to come across the road. And I guess Jake ended up telling him, yeah, you're good, maybe 15, 20 minutes or something. So we waited. They would not cross. They went to that one field right there, which we could shoot in, but the guy that owns it, who was right there with us, kind of didn't really want to shoot towards sprinkler lines. His grandson, I believe, was there with him. I think it was his grandson. He also had a tag. And they kind of stepped forward a little bit farther to where the lines weren't behind him. So I told him, I says, why don't you just let him go over there and shoot him in that field across the road? Because we had to go, which we felt bad, because we knew as soon as we have to go, they're going to take off.
Oh, for sure.
So him and Ryan kind of army crawled over a little bit and tried to get set up, but they seen us. Because at first, so his name's John, he's got a little patch of trees right there. and we could stand right in them. So they had no clue we were there until they started to move. But so, and again, it was that 6 point.
Oh, that
So,
famous 6 point.
I kept thinking, I'm all right, dude. I've had you twice. Third time's gonna be a charm. So I kept going up every morning. A couple of the mornings they weren't there, and then that morning that I did get mine, I pulled into the little spot there we were at, and I shut the truck off and was kind of sitting there watching. And I was there about 5-10 minutes. I thought, oh, they're not here. I can't see anything. So I started the truck, went to put it in reverse, and I heard a cow chirp. I was like, what the heck? Well, they come walking from the top end of the field. They were behind some willows. And so I jumped out, went across the wash, got set up, and was just kind of waiting. And I could tell he wasn't very big, but so this was on a Monday. The hunt ended that coming Saturday. So I thought, well, if I want to get one, I probably better just take him. And he stepped out about, 10, 15 yards away from the cows, gave me some good space, and so I got him. Well, after I got him, I felt guilty. I was like, what the heck? I'm like, well, I'm up here. I'm able to come out and hunt. I got one. Kaitlynn can't go. She didn't get one. So I start feeling guilty. I was like, gosh dang it. Because of the excitement from me shooting the deer.
Oh.
I wanted that again with the elk. I was like, man, I really want to get her an elk now. And I kept telling Jake, too, I'm like, I want to get her an elk really bad.
Man,
So
I gave
then-
you an experience, too.
Yeah. So Friday night, so it ended on a Saturday. So that Friday night, we went down to Allen's, down to the field. Got hit up in the ditch there because there had been some cows kind of coming in. Or no, it was Thursday night. We ran into Dave down there.
Yeah.
And right at dark, that one cow walked in. So we thought Friday night, let's go down and try it out. And they did come in, about 8 cows, but it was too dark to shoot. So even if there was a bull, we wouldn't have been able to shoot. That's what really made it hard, too, is these elk around here, they were not coming in until after dark.
Yeah, they're very smart.
And they were leaving way before daylight. And you say they're very smart, which they are, and it's crazy to me that those deer behaved the way they did.
Oh, yeah.
But then the elk are like,
And they're bigger animals.
yeah, we're out of here. We're gone. So anyway, Friday night didn't work out. And I started thinking, well, what should we do in the mornings? We've only got one more day. And I guess my thought was, well, I think our best chance is to go back up to where I got mine. So that's what we did. And as we got up there, it was going slow, couldn't see anything. And you had just said, oh, I don't think they're in here. So I pulled in. Soon as I shut the truck off,
Roll the windows down.
just cow chirps everywhere. I was like, oh no, they're in here. But they were on the other end of the field from where mine were, which again are blocked by willows. So I remember telling you, get your gun, get over there, get set up, and just wait. And I thought, I'll go walk up the road right here where I can see them. And I got to in the clearing. I was like, oh man, there's a lot of elk in there. Probably 75 head.
Ton.
50 to 75, and just in that little corner of that field right there. And they didn't even know we were there at that time. But I looked at all of them. I could see, well, the very first time I could only see the one bull. But it was that bigger 5 point.
Mm-hmm.
So then I walked back down to you. Hey, there's, I asked you if you could see him.
Yeah, at that point, I was by myself.
Yeah.
He sends me by myself.
Well, keep in mind we're 50 yards away from each other.
I'm still new here, and I'm by myself.
But I remember you telling me, well, yeah, I can, but there's no horns. I said, no, there's at least one in there. I seen him. He's a decent 5 point. I said, I'm going to go back up here, kind of see what else is in there. And then at that point, I could see 8 or 9 more bulls. So I thought, all right, if she wants one, she's going to get one because they're in here.
Oh, yeah.
But that 5 point, it was crazy how he would not step away from those cows.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Stayed right in the middle. And at that point, they knew I was there because they could see me on the road, but they weren't really scared.
Yeah, they weren't concerned.
No, just kind of.
And
I mean,
heard that cow, she was quite close to me.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
by the time you shot, I'll bet that cow was only 20 yards away from you.
She was.
But the one bull that you did get finally stepped away from everything, gave you a clear shot. And at the time, I didn't even think to tell you. Well, you had shot your deer too. That just came to me too. So you'd already done it once before at close range. But I thought it was cool that you realized that he was so close, so you aimed lower. And had you aimed a half-inch higher, you'd have missed him.
I really would have.
Yeah, because your bullet hit right in, I mean, it just split his backbone right in half.
Yeah.
But I kept watching, same as kind of like the deer, just kind of watching in the binoculars, and I wasn't quite sure which one you were going to shoot because there was 2 or 3 of them right there. The rest were kind of back towards the back of the herd. So I was like, well, I'll just watch here and see what happens. And if she shoots, she shoots. And then you did, and I seen him drop. I was like, again, just the excitement. I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. This is freaking awesome. But you know what's stupid? When you shot your first deer, I made you gut it.
Yeah.
Your deer and your elk, I gutted for you. No, you did your deer.
I did do
You
my
did your deer. That's right.
Yeah, I did not do my own.
But I did your elk, yeah. And I don't know why. I guess maybe just... It was a little cold that morning. But...
I remember you saying, I should be making you do this. I'm like, yeah, haha.
Yeah, and you kind of brushed it off as if, oh, no, go ahead.
What an offer to give it back to me.
Yeah, right. But yeah, we had a great year. 2 deer, 2 elk. And then Rex, our neighbor here, made us some jerky, which is
Very
really
good.
good. Really good jerky.
It's not dry.
No, however he did it, it's not the dried out kind of hard pieces.
And it's thicker.
It's soft.
Which is nice.
It's good. He did a really good job.
Yeah, I got a slicer, the whole setup.
Yeah, so that was fun. Hunting season this year was a lot of fun. Hopefully next year.
Sounds like we'll have a few more trips as well.
This year?
Next year.
Oh yeah, next year. Yeah, with and we'll add Brooke into it. I'd really like for you to be able to draw that boulder unit.
Oh my gosh, I put in for it every single
Yeah.
year in hopes, with me being a lady
Yeah.
and then having some points.
Right. That's crazy too, that point system, because when I drew it in 2017, I had been putting in for elk, but that was the first year I switched to boulder. I don't remember somebody had told me you should put in for boulder. I was like, where is boulder?
Bless them, whoever
What, yeah,
they
what?
are.
Where is that?
Whoever that saint is.
And I was
bless
like, you know what? Can't hurt. So I put in, and Chris, I was working with him at Harriman City, told him I had put in for it, and he was like, oh man, that's a sweet unit, because he drew it too. He drew it several years before. And I remember we were sitting there at lunch one day at Harriman City. We kind of had it was like a big garage, but it was a big space we had for lunch, bunch of tables set up. And my phone went off, and I looked down, and the credit card had been hit, or the card had been hit. And I looked, and it was like I can't remember the price, whatever. I knew that was the price of the elk tag, like
Back then
$285 or
it
something.
was cheaper.
And I look over at Chris. I remember Chris and his freaking sriracha sauce, just dousing his lunch in sriracha. And I'm like, Chris, I'm pretty sure I just drew boulder.
Oh boy.
He's like, no, you didn't. You did not. And I was like, dude, my card just got hit for like $285. Oh my gosh, we're going. I'm taking you. We're going. I'm going with you. We're going. And for those of you that don't know, Chris is a guide. He guides for High Top Outfitters. And my first response was, dude, I don't have money to pay your guide fees to go down there. Well, I'm not going to go as a guide. We're going as friends. I'm taking you down. I'm like, well, if that's the case, yeah, let's go.
He was there for
So it was about an hour later, I got the email, and I showed him, like, dude, I freaking drew it. And I was like, I don't even know where it's at. So he kind of told me, and him and I went down, I don't know, like August that year or something, and kind of looked around, did some scouting, and got some ideas of where we wanted to go. But yeah, I wish you could draw that tag. Hopefully one day you can.
I'm gonna keep going till I do.
That unit was so cool to...
It's a cool, like, area with views.
Well, it's crazy too, because
The roads are awesome.
if you remember, the north side of the highway is like what we have. Pine trees, Quakies, tall mountains, everything else. The south side of the highway is the desert, flat top mountains. I mean, it is a wall of one scene to the next. It was so cool to see.
What was going on? Is that...
Yeah.
That was covered in water?
That's what I was going to say. Maybe that part was covered in water at one time. Who knows? You know, they claim the whole Uinta Basin out here was underwater at one time.
Right, that's a big old lake.
I had someone tell me that a long time ago, that they had been doing a lot of research on this area, And I don't know if he told me when. If he did, I don't remember. But obviously, a very long time ago. Yeah, this whole place was underwater. But they say that's why there's. I don't know. This might not be a popular comment, but they find dinosaur bones over by Vernal, which I don't know.
It was their watering hole?
Yeah, I don't know. The whole dinosaur thing is weird to me. But yeah, they say this whole thing was covered underwater too, so maybe that was, who knows.
One may never know.
Wouldn't it be cool to be able to go back somehow and just get an aerial view of like certain areas?
Oh yeah.
Just to see like hundreds of years ago, 1,000 years ago, what it looked like.
I also wonder what made it dry up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the most educated person, so.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't expose
yeah,
ourselves.
I wouldn't be the one to ask a question like that. I'm not 100%
We'll have to do some
sure.
research and report back.
I mean, if you pull up a globe, I can find the United States, but that might be about it. So.
Oof. That map topic
Yeah,
is one of the funnier
you
things.
You don't want to ask me for stuff like that, but.
Geography is not our strong suit.
No. You know, speaking of geography, there's the flat earthers.
Yeah.
And I've had certain people ask me, and every time my answer is, I don't know, and I don't really care.
I don't care, but it's something fun to think of.
Like if the earth is flat or if the earth is round, I'd be willing to bet my day's going to be the same tomorrow.
I still have to go clock in tomorrow.
Yeah, I still got to go to work.
So,
still got to do everything.
But also, what if?
That's another topic like that is the whole alien talk.
Yeah.
Now, and see, that to me, that's kind of cool. Like, I can listen to that kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting.
It's like, how are we the only ones?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, that stuff's interesting to me. But the flat earth stuff, I'm just like...
Your grandma had the most interesting take on the world, on Earth. She said one time that it is made up of all these other Earths.
Oh, really?
Into one.
Granny said that?
No, your grandma.
Grandma Leffler?
Mm-hmm. I think that's very interesting, and it would make sense, because then that makes you wonder.
Yeah.
What does the Earth look like?
Grandma Leffler. She has done genealogy. Is it genealogy? Yeah. She's done that for years, and I've never seen it, but my mom, I think it was my mom, maybe Grandma told me, she has a line that goes all the way back to either. I may be wrong on this, but I swear they told me all the way back to either Adam or Eve.
That might be the case for my grandpa as well.
Because and I don't know if she still does it. I would imagine she dabbles in it. Maybe she still does it full, a lot too. I don't know, but I know there for a long time she was really deep into it and really tracking back the genealogy.
Maybe we should have her see if our families are related.
Well,
at all.
If you go by what we're taught, we are, because we're all related in the end.
But where and when? Do you have anyone famous in your family?
We do, but I can't remember who. I'll have to find out, but I know there's actually some pretty cool names that we are related to.
I remember your aunt saying names, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I didn't even know where my ancestors came from.
You don't know right now?
I think Grandpa told me England, I think.
I have been told England from your side.
Yeah.
That's the only thing anyone knows.
Because I remember one day we were up at Grandma and Grandpa's. This was before Grandma had passed, so it's been a while. But I don't even know why. We must have been talking about something like that. And I asked Grandpa, I'm like, where did we even come from? Because I literally have no idea. And I think he said England. But, yeah, aside from that, I have no idea.
I think there's more to the story there.
And there might
what's
be.
tough is, like, if you go do one of those 23andMe's, now your DNA is out in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if that gets breached, you're going to be a clone.
I probably already am.
How do you feel about that?
I'm probably already a clone.
I would clone you.
Yeah, I know. Probably a lot of people would.
I don't.
I'm clonable.
I'm
clonable.
I see why they would want to.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of good cloning abilities here. Watch out.
Good reasons. What's another topic on your list?
Oh, man. I have... The other ones I have, I think, would be pretty long. And I don't know I mean, we're coming up on an hour right now.
Are we?
So
really?
I don't, and that's my thing with this podcast too. I don't care if it's an hour, if it's 2 hours.
Well, we can keep going.
I really don't care.
I guess I didn't even tell you about my genealogy.
No, you didn't. I have no idea where you're from. Well, I know Canada was part, but before Canada, I don't know where they...
Yeah, specifically French Canadian from my dad. That's where the DeRosa comes from. So basically, I'm a... What does that count as a native North American?
Well, where did they come from to go to Canada?
I think that's just where they're from. That's why I'm asking. Is that a northern Native American?
No, it's not.
Like the continent?
Oh, I was going to say, no, it's not Native American.
No, the continent?
I don't know. Again, you're asking me stuff that I really don't know. But, didn't they, like... And maybe this is just...
Maybe the terms are just wrong.
Maybe this is just me being
know.
highly educated, but they had to have come from somewhere before Canada, didn't they?
I mean, there had to have been someone living there at
Maybe,
some point.
Maybe we'll have to ask your grandma and grandpa.
And then from my mom's side, there's been some rumors that we were from Italy forever. And then my grandma did her 23andMe. And we're from South Africa and like Sweden.
Oh.
And Norway.
Got a little Swede, huh?
Yeah. So, blonde hair, blue eyes, big surprise.
Yeah, right.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
But I think the French Canadian part's pretty cool. I think that's quite unique. Not a lot of people are that.
Not a lot of people that we know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm from here, so.
You're a Utah.
Yeah, from good old Utah and the USA, so that's about as far as my knowledge branches out. But there was another thing I wrote down here, and I talk about this all the time. I'm always, like you and Slim, send videos, and a lot of them are funny, but almost every time my thought is, man, I have never been that starved for attention to do something like that just to have people look at me.
Right.
Like the lengths that people go to for attention is mind-blowing to me. And maybe it's because I remember growing up without like social media. Because I'm sure these people have always been like that. You know, I think that's just kind of, when you're that way, that's who you are. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. But sometimes I think I'm actually like 80 years old.
You are.
Because I'm the type of person that I'm like, you're so dumb. Like, why are you doing that for attention when you could be doing something a lot more productive, or just maybe not being an idiot? You know, I don't know.
But that's why it's funny.
No, a lot of it's funny.
Because it's stupid.
Yeah, a lot of it is very funny. But it's just, yeah, that's always something I always think about is, man, I couldn't imagine needing attention that bad. Because some of the stuff people do, like I've seen a guy on Instagram before, he's like, what do they call them? The ICP followers.
Oh boy.
The gigolos?
Is it
gigolos?
Juggalo or Juggalo?
Juggalo.
I don't know the difference.
Might be Juggalo. Whatever it is.
We're going to get canceled on this first podcast because we don't know Northern Native Americans.
We've already talked about slaves to taxes. We're talking about Juggalos. Yeah, we may not even be able to get to do this. So if anybody does see this, great. But anyway, he's calls himself one of those, whatever it is. And he does the most insane, like, the last one I remember, he was on a table, like a fold-out table.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
And he had bricks on the ground below him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't remember what he said, but he's giving his whole juggalo
his little
chant.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that. Well, he gives this little speech, and then at the end he does that, and then he jumps. And I'm like, dude, why?
I love him.
Why? Like, what's your end goal here? Are you trying to bring in the ladies, which they have a name too? Juggalette or Jiggalette. It's either Jiggalo or Juggalo.
And then the at the
Gigolette
end.
or Juggalette?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Gigolette.
It's one I can't. We're gonna have to.
We're gonna.
Yeah,
be
we're gonna
so
have
much
to. Well,
trouble.
we're gonna have to confirm that and find out which one it is. But it's things like that. I'm like, dude, there's no way you like. I would never jump off of a table onto bricks. And he always has no shirt on. He always takes his shirt off for this type of stuff.
I mean, you have to prove your toughness somehow.
Jumping off a table onto bricks? That's not toughness. That's
I don't make the rules.
stupidity. that's a
I just tell them.
lack of brain cells. I don't know. Some people, but you teach their own.
You know, I like those kind of videos on Instagram just so I can stay in the algorithm.
Yeah.
And then also, as a few people who are close to me know, I'm going to expose myself. I will like things on purpose, knowing people are seeing what I'm liking.
What you're liking.
Makes them question everything they know about me. And I love it.
Yeah, which you say that, question how well they know you. That's one thing that I think about with doing this podcast. Like, I know these people, but do I know them?
I don't really let anyone in. I let you in.
Don't. Yeah, you don't really. Outside of here, you really don't. I mean, there's a handful of people that I've probably told probably everything about me. You know, some of the friends I have that I've been closest with for the longest, you know, like Cody, Skylar, some of those guys, Weston probably knows everything about me, you know. And then there's more. I don't know all the names, but there's not a whole lot that I've just kind of spilled everything out to. But I really don't have a lot to spill either. I'm just kind of, you know, I don't have any deep dark secrets. I don't have any regrets, you know.
Not even a letter?
Not even a single letter, you know, like not a whole lot to spill, so.
Same. I don't really have secrets, no skeletons that I'm aware of. We did just get our background checks done, so nothing surprising.
Well, my background check's done every 24 hours, so.
Okay, well, mine's not.
I would have known. And for the record, that's not because of criminal reasons.
I guess that's a good
As
note.
some of you know, I am certified to teach the concealed carry class in Utah, so
if you're local, we have a class coming up that Wasey's going to be teaching.
Yeah, I had someone reach out to me. I need to brush up. I haven't done a single class since that new constitutional carry law passed in Utah. In fact, when I renewed mine, I asked Bolton if he was going to do his, and I don't think he did. He said he probably wasn't going to. But I just kind of thought, well, I've already did it. It was a pretty extensive class. I'm just going to keep it, you know, and it wasn't much to renew it, so. But yeah, for the record, that's why my background check gets ran every 24 hours. It's not because I've done something crazy in the past, and
but more details
they got to
to
keep
come
tabs on me. Yeah,
on this class.
But yeah, we may end up having one. Jason Curry reached out to me. Well, not reached out. I ran into him tonight at the ball game, and he had mentioned it. He's mentioned it before, a month or so ago.
But now it sounds a bit more.
But now that he has people that actually want to do it, yeah, I got to get back on the BCI website and do some reading and studying, make sure nothing's changed.
And it's always nice to be fresh with the new.
Yeah, and I have that app that it's been a couple months since I've looked at it. Gosh, I'm blanking on what it's called, but it's just an app you can open up and it'll give you your laws for where you're at. And so I've kind of checked that out a little bit, and I haven't seen any changes on there, but I remember when we took the class, you know, they told us that Utah is and always has been it sounds weird, but I'm pretty sure it's like a gun-friendly state.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had open carry forever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so.
Which people I don't think are fans of, but.
Some people are, some people aren't. It doesn't bother me. I see people all the time open carry, and it doesn't bother me at all. I don't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
What you're going to do with it is what I care about.
Yeah, which most 99.9% of them aren't going to do anything with it because they don't want to and probably don't need to. But, you know, that's the thing about the concealed. Nobody gets their concealed and hope they're going to get to use their gun. You know, that's nobody wants to do that. But it's a good thing just in case. You know, you never know. There's all the crazy things going on in the world, and it's funny too because a lot of times, you know, I've said this to you before. Well, God, we're in Tabby. You know, it's pretty quiet here, which it is. It is, but that doesn't eliminate the possibility of something strange happening. But one good thing about here is, like we said before, when our kids are riding their bikes around town, or all the other kids or whatever. There's always somebody that sees them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like that my whole life. I mean, when we were kids, parents knew
Everyone's
where
watching.
this group of kids is, and they kind of, if they see kids there, they'll kind of keep an eye on it and just kind of make sure.
Well, and they're not scared to be like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
But they know where the line is to
Yeah.
not, they're not beating your kid.
Right.
Or anything crazy.
But that's one cool thing about this place, because you look at Eagle Mountain where we lived. When we first moved in there, it was the neighborhood area we were in. I think we were phase 3, maybe 4.
Oh, if even that.
We might have been 4.
Oh, gosh.
Jason and Ashley, their house was phase 1, I'm pretty certain. That street they lived on. And,
Maybe.
oh man, why can't I remember his name? It's gonna come to me.
I can see exactly
Oh
who you're
man,
talking
Jenny's
about.
husband. Ted.
Ted.
Ted and Jenny. Over where they lived, I'm pretty sure that street was all phase 1.
We might have been in 3.
We were 3 or 4. But anyway, just the amount that it grew. So I remember when we went there, I was like, man, even if we could just get like 5 years of just kind of quiet. We didn't even get 2. I mean, it just exploded.
There was hospital plans.
But,
like,
yeah. Rerouting that whole road.
rerouting that whole road. A Walmart went in. They had to build a whole new junior high.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second or third.
Well, they built the elementary too, because Brooklyn and Boston switched out. Well, yeah, Boston too. They switched elementaries.
Well, and did I tell you that they just added another school?
What school? Like elementary or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were.
So they got rezoned again.
They were building it.
Mhm.
No,
And then it was going to go to Cedar Fort.
I'm thinking of the one that they were in when we left, because that one, we were right on the border of the one that they were in, and the new one we were just on the side of the new
Yeah,
one.
they just changed it again. But
'Cause
they
I think-
did also shrink that school district.
Didn't Cody and Nicole's kids end up going to where Brooklyn was too? Isn't that where Blake? Or did they stay in the other one?
They went to the other one.
Did they stay in the other one?
Yeah.
But back to what we were saying, you think about, like, to me, that's one thing I've always liked about Tabby. People used to ask us all the time, how could you stand living and growing up in such a small place? Which it does have its downfalls. I'm not going to tell you it's perfect. There's things that, I don't know what it's like now, but there's always, and you get this in bigger places too, but it's a lot more noticeable and hard to avoid in a small place, but the drama stuff that goes around,
Yeah.
always drama about one thing or another. And I remember telling you, like, if you choose to be involved in it, then yeah, you'll probably be miserable.
I was
But,
nervous
like,
coming out because I was like, I
But,
just don't really know.
I
anyone.
told myself a long time ago, I don't care what anybody says. I've been blamed for doing things around here that I did not do.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I knew I didn't do it. It didn't matter to me.
Yeah, your intentions are pure.
And in the end, when it was found out what had happened and by who, it was never me, because
Yeah.
I didn't do it. But for some reason, my name was thrown out there. But I just decided a long time ago, I'm not a fan of drama. I don't care for it. I never been in a fist fight in my life, because
I
I
love
just,
to
to me,
just
it was,
go home.
yeah, I'd rather just go do something else. Like, it's not worth my time. I'd rather sit on the couch and stare at the wall than deal with drama.
Yeah.
But
not everyone likes everyone, and that's okay.
yeah, no, that's totally fine.
But, also it's kind of not scary, but intimidating maybe, because you sometimes have to be confrontational
Yeah.
with people,
Hmm.
and then you have to go see them again.
Confrontational one night and you're going to see him the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the whole security thing, because I think about our neighborhood out there, and our street was really good as far as
I feel like it
watching
was
and
starting to
keeping an
go
eye on things,
downhill.
But the
road.
bigger the neighborhood got, you look at it that way, and then you look at how we have it here, as far as having that little bit of comfort knowing that if our kids are, I mean, it's only a half a mile, but if they're a half a mile down the road in town riding bikes with, when they go with Declan and all those kids, it never bothered me.
Yeah.
But before we moved, it really started to bother me when the kids, do you remember that day, because they'd ride around the block,
Yeah.
and they stopped at Joe's house
Mhm.
and didn't tell us?
Yeah.
And we were waiting. Finally, I'm like,
We
they
were
should have
like,
been back by now, because we used to
yeah,
always
with
tell
their
them one lap.
name.
One lap, and then you come and check in, you know.
Mhm.
I was freaking out. I'm like, holy crap, where are these kids? So I took off around the sidewalk, got around there, and luckily they were at Joe's house, which I wasn't surprised, because Joe was really good about letting them come over and hang out with his chickens and whatever else, you know.
Or
But
even that time that they didn't come home from the school bus.
Yeah.
It was only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing, walking their friend home. But she was brand new to the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, but that's what I'm getting at. If that were to happen here, it probably wouldn't bother me.
No, I would.
You know, for a minute I'd be like, where are they? Why? And I'd go find them.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be that instant panic
No.
that I had out there, just because there's so many people out there. And here, I know every single person that lives in town.
And
Every one of them.
The traffic over there too.
Yeah. Yeah, how many people got hit in that intersection by our house?
People got hit, and then the construction workers. So it's like any white van passing through is a risk, and you can see it on the Facebook pages from other concerned parents too. They're like, "This is a suspicious van."
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, not the best environment.
But I would get super nervous when they would take off on their bikes right there towards the end of when we moved, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, because you don't want your kids to. I didn't want to tell them, nope, can't go, gotta stay in the house. Like, that's no life for a kid.
No.
You know. And I remember, we've talked about this before, but I remember asking my mom one day, I'm like, how in the world did you ever dare let us take off with friends and go to like Roosevelt to the movies, or down to Duchesne, or wherever we would go? Because I think about it now, and I'm like, well, not now, but when we were out there, I thought all the time, because this was before you had decided we were going to move back. This is when I thought we were still stuck out there.
Right. Stuck.
But I thought all the time, like, what am I going to do when Brooklyn is 16, 17, and she's wanting to go to the movies with her friends? And you know me, I don't like movie theaters.
Yeah.
After some of the incidents that's happened across the country, and I hate being that way. I hate being that
But you're sitting
skeptic. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I just don't like him, and so I think about that all the time. What am I going to do when she's old enough? How am I going to handle it?
We'll be able to let
Because
go.
I'm not going to tell her she can't have friends. I'm not going to tell her she can never go do anything. I'm not going to raise my kid that way.
I want to, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, right. We're not. It's not the life that they should be living. But you get out here and you get that little bit of security, I guess you could call it, where you don't really worry as much. And I'm not saying we should never worry, because we should, because it doesn't.
But the kids that she's exposed to, and Boston, obviously, their parents, we know them.
Mm-hmm.
They share the same values as us.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a really good chance they're going to be raising their kids in a very similar manner.
And a couple of them, we didn't know them when we first got here, but have gotten to know them very well.
Yeah.
You know, especially the girls that are in her class. Well, most of the girls in her class, I've known their parents my whole life, but like the Rhodes, for example, Isley's parents, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know them. I remembered seeing Gavin play a little bit.
Yeah,
Probably his junior year, maybe even sophomore. I don't remember, but since coming back, and her and Isley's become such good friends. You know, you get to know them, and yeah, like you said, it's, you know, that they have the same values as you, so it kind of gets rid of a little bit of that worry. But I don't know. It's still pretty wild. So
raising kids in this world is definitely different than how we were raised, and even different from when our parents were raised.
So I didn't finish my story when I asked my mom that. Her answer was, well, things were a lot different when you were younger. And as soon as she said that, it hit me. I was like, man, you're right. You know, because I don't ever remember hearing about, and I'm sure it happened, but we just didn't hear about it as much with all the craziness. You know, whether it's abductions or trafficking. Well, I guess trafficking and abductions work together, but you just didn't hear about that kind of stuff. Like, it was never, I never thought growing up, like, oh man, I hope this doesn't happen. Or I hope we don't run, you know, like, it was never even a concern.
Were you ever raised to not, like, touch things because there might be drugs on it?
No.
Or, like, a needle, or...
Well, I wouldn't have touched a needle anyway. I've hated needles my whole life, so I never would have touched a needle anyway.
Like
but.
one hidden somewhere, like
Mm-mm.
sticking your fingers in the nothing like the
No,
coins.
but growing up out here, we were never exposed to any of that kind of stuff.
Oh, so that's just my ghetto.
Yeah, I never.
Talking.
Well, you grew up in Michigan for a while, so that's a whole different scenario than here. But I mean, I'm sure there were drugs. I'm sure there were.
I know there are now.
But we were never exposed to that kind of stuff. Growing up as a kid, I don't know that I could have told you anyone that did drugs. Like, I knew a lot of people that drank, partied and stuff, but I didn't know any. If they did drugs, I didn't know about it.
Well, and when you're a kid, you're naive anyway.
But even as a teenager, junior, senior in high school, I didn't know anybody. If they did do them, I didn't know. So I don't ever, and maybe my parents did too. I would imagine at some point in time they taught us about that, but I don't remember it because it just never was an issue.
Did you have DARE?
Oh yeah, we had DARE. Ralph Stansfield was our DARE officer.
Did they pass along all the actual substances or
Man,
no?
you're reaching into the archives now. I don't remember. I know we definitely had DARE. Like I said, Ralph Stansfield was our DARE officer. But one thing I do remember, he had the beer goggles. I do remember when they had those and we put them on and it makes you sick and the whole room's spinning.
Oh yeah.
But
Make
aside
you
from
run.
aside from that, I don't remember what he brought out or had for us or anything like that. But I don't know. When I was younger, all the way down to probably Boston's age, 4th grade, all I ever wanted to do was play ball. So
Your priority was
yeah,
ball.
like if we were at a friend's house, we were playing ball, and I really didn't pay much attention to anything outside of that. When I was younger, about that age, I was a big Jazz fan. I loved watching Stockton and Malone, Hornacek, Brian Russell. Loved watching all those guys. As I got a little bit older, well, not much older, because it would have been in '96, so I would have been 9. So Boston's age, I guess, when Kobe was drafted. And at the time, I knew some people that were Lakers fans that had always been Lakers fans. And I just, for some reason, I was like, I did this with football too, which I can say in a minute, but it was just something about him. When he got drafted, I was like, that's my new favorite player. I had never seen the guy play before.
That's the one.
I had no idea. I was just like, yeah, Kobe Bryant, that's my favorite player.
Kobe Bryant.
So then I became a huge Lakers fan. I mean,
It's funny how you just kind of fall onto one. Because
Yeah.
I did the same thing with David Cruz.
oh yeah, you did with the
just-
Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of just,
yeah,
oh,
repping the Reds.
just kind of fell onto him.
See, and like for me, with Kobe, in baseball, it was Derek Jeter. I love Derek Jeter. First
Yeah.
time I watched him play, I'm like, heck yeah, that's my guy.
This is
And
the
I've been a
one.
Yankees fan my whole life, and it's funny too because the Yankees and the Lakers have always been two of the biggest names in their sports. So people used to tell me, "Oh yeah, you only like them because of who they are."
You chose
You're
a
a-"
legend.
I had somebody one time when the Lakers beat the Celtics in one of the NBA finals. I literally had someone tell me, "Oh, how's it feel to be a bandwagon jumper?" I'm like, dude, if you had any idea, and this was, I want to say, was it 2010 when they beat the Celtics? Somewhere, give or take, right in there. And I'm like, you're an idiot. I have been a Lakers fan for years. Like, I've been waiting for this. I remember when they beat the Pacers. It would have been, I want to say, maybe Kobe's second year in the league, second or third year. And they beat the Pacers in the finals. But, yeah, I was like, you could not be any more off by calling me a bandwagon jumper. Like, if
Yeah.
you only knew me, you would know my obsession with this team. Like,
It's generally
it was,
after a specific person.
yeah. No,
Not
it was
just
the
a
whole
team.
team. It was the
Oh.
whole team. I loved the whole team. Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, Shaq, Robert Horry. I mean, I liked them all. Glenn Rice played for him for a little while. I'm pretty sure he was on one of the championship teams, but no, I just loved the Lakers. Everything was the Lakers. But Kobe was by far my favorite player, which it was kind of crazy. When he died in the helicopter crash, I had several messages that morning because I didn't even know he had died.
Oh,
And I imagine you must have told me or something, or maybe I seen it on social media or something, so I turned the TV on and started watching it, and I started getting all these messages. of people like, hey man, sorry. It was almost like I knew the guy.
Yeah.
But these people that know me, they knew how big of a fan I was.
Yeah.
And from 9 years old. It's not like I became a Kobe fan at age 20.
Right.
This dude was my guy. But it was kind of crazy how I'd get those messages. And I remember thinking, I'm like, and I don't, like, it didn't, how do I want to say this? It didn't, like, tear me apart. Like when I've lost close family members, Granny, Uncle
Right.
Aaron, that stuff really tore me up. But I was like, I could feel it. I'm like, man, this freaking sucks. What? Why? How?
Mm-hmm.
But it made me sit there and think, like, the way that this kind of makes me feel and the messages that I got, you would think that I was actually personal friends with this guy. I don't know, I've never even met the guy. Watched him play. Every time he came to Utah, I had tickets. I went, very first game I ever went to was Jazz and Lakers. My Uncle Aaron bought us the tickets.
Didn't you and I go to a Lakers game?
Yeah.
For
One of the dates, we went bowling after. We were with,
right, Carly and...
I want to say Weston was there.
Wasn't Carly with...
No, Carly went with us when we went and watched the Heat, because she was a big Dwayne
that's
Wade
right.
fan.
That's right.
She may have went to a Lakers game too. I don't remember. Actually, she might have, because that one Lakers game, I had been saving. I spent some money because I got us. I think we were on the 19th row, if I remember right.
Yeah, we were quite close.
And that was everything I mean, to get even closer, it was buku bucks, but
it was a good time.
But that very first game, Aaron ended up not being able to go for some reason, so me and my dad went. And we didn't know where the tickets were, but I didn't care. I was freaking stoked. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to see Kobe, we're going to see Shaq. Which Shaq, if you've never seen that guy in person, TV does that guy no justice. I mean, people wonder if giants exist. They do.
He
He
literal
is
giant.
insanely huge.
Taller than Sean Bradley?
No, actually no. And we met Sean Bradley too. But I
Yeah.
think the difference between Sean Bradley and Shaq is Shaq was 7'2", probably, ish,
Sure.
400 pounds. Sean Bradley's 7'6" and probably 280, 300 pounds.
7'6"?
Yeah, 7'5", 7'6", somewhere in there.
I have a picture with him,
Yeah.
and he is a 7.
At Carly's
6.
Ameritech, when she finished her stuff at Ameritech. Yeah, we met him there, and that's when we took that picture. He's right in there somewhere. He's 7'5", maybe not. I can't remember if he's taller than Yao Ming or not, because Yao Ming was 7'5" or 7. So maybe Sean Bradley maybe 7'4", and Yao Ming was 7'5" or 7'6", something like that. I don't think he was taller than Yao Ming.
I wonder what these dudes sleep on.
Oh my gosh! Well, you remember the show MTV Cribs?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Shaq was on there. They went to his one day. This dude, his bed, I don't know how big it was, but if I'm guessing, it was 4 king beds put together.
Did he sleep long ways or?
Well, no, he slept normal, like how you would normally sleep on the bed. But it was so big that it looked like 4 king, or maybe 4 California kings, something. It was huge. His bedroom was bigger than our house.
Oh my gosh.
But the bed, I was like, good Lord, man. And I mean, it was big enough that he didn't take up the whole bed. Like,
And that's before Papa Murphy's money.
yeah, that was before Papa Murphy's money. But yeah, that guy, seeing him on TV, you see him on TV and then you see him in real life, you're like, what happened? And another big guy, Thurl Bailey. We went, there was me and Weston, I want to say Slim was with us. I think there was 4 of us. But anyway, they used to do, and they might still, I don't know, but they used to do the halftime show on like the middle level, I think the middle level of the Delta Center. And so we got up to walk around at halftime, and we ended up getting over there, and they were just getting ready to start. So we were right next to the gates where they had them kind of fenced off, And they did their first little segment, and they went to break, and you could see them kind of put their stuff down, and the one guy, he's kind of like not security, but one of the helpers of the show. He was talking to him, and he looked over at us, and he looked back, and he pointed at us and said, "Come here." And we're just standing there, so like he's not talking to us. Well, he walked over to us, and I'm like, "Us?" He says, "Yeah, they allow so many guests to come back during breaks. You guys come back and meet them." I was like, "Freak, yeah."
Heck yeah.
So we went back there, and I was the first in line, and I reached up to shake Thurl Bailey's hand. This dude's fingers came this far up my arm. When I shook his hand, I was blown away. And I'm like, I looked at
What
Wesley.
did his feet look like?
Oh, freak. I don't even know what to compare him to. Huge.
Where did his waist hit you?
I'm not 100% sure. Probably my shoulders. My chest, maybe. I mean, I'm not very tall, but
That's
large
crazy.
individual. But that is something I will never forget. The size of his hand on my arm. I mean, it was, you know how sometimes they'll do the, I don't know what you call it, but guys will do the shake where they do it like this.
Yeah.
It's like we were doing that, but my little teeny tiny hand was in his palm and he was wrapping around my whole arm.
Did you feel like a jit?
I didn't know what to feel. I was so blown away. I'm like, what do I do? I didn't know if I should talk, stay there, let go. Like I had no clue.
Who let go first?
Huh?
Who let go first? You?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Did you do the oh?
No.
Fingers.
I couldn't. I was in shock. When we grabbed the handshake and I felt it, I was thinking, what in the world? And I turned to West, and I don't know what I said, but it was probably like something, you got to be freaking kidding me. But it was the biggest hand I've ever shook in my life.
So, you know that trick where you can put your fingers around your wrist?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that would be like on him.
For him to put his fingers around my wrist?
His own wrist.
Oh, I was going to say, he'd have probably wrapped my wrist 4 or 5 times. Have to just keep overlapping and run the fingers down the arm.
Coil.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, some of those guys, they are just huge. And
Large
it's
individuals.
yeah, it's when me and Dad went to that game before it started, we ended up going down all the way. We weren't all the way to the floor. Probably at the middle section of the lower bowl when they were just out there warming up. We kind of snuck in closer. Well, didn't sneak. They let us go down, but just to see him up close, you know. And there was a guy, his name was Chris Mullen, used to play, or was it Chris Mullen? Chris Morris, not Chris Mullen, Chris Morris used to play for the Jazz, and he was out there shooting around, and I had been a Jazz fan, like I said. At this time I was a Lakers fan, but before that I was a Jazz fan, so I knew who he was. I was like, oh, there's Chris Morris, you know. And none of the Lakers came out for a long time. A long time. But I'll tell you what, when Shaq walked out, it was like a double take. I'm thinking, there's no way a human can be that big. And you would think with every step, you'd feel the seats shake.
Oh my god.
Like, he is just so, I mean, you didn't feel the seats shake, but you felt like he was big enough that they should be shaking. You know, like, just ridiculously huge. And then he gets out there and starts stretching, and you're like, what is happening?
You're like, dude, you're across the whole floor.
Yeah, like,
Save some floor for the rest
and
of
the
us.
poor guy that had to stand behind him and push his leg up to stretch him, that's probably like lifting a truck.
That might have been a 2-man job.
There was only one guy there, but I'm sure he felt like he was lifting a truck just to stretch that freaking hamstring on old Shaq.
Holy hell.
But the NBA players are big, and I've never been to a football game, but I know a pro football game. But I know some of those boys are huge too. Some of those linemen
Wow.
that are 400 plus pounds. Just like, there's a guy, Warren Sapp, you probably don't know who he is.
Go Sports.
I remember him playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just a large individual. I mean, wide, he was probably 3 people.
Oh my
Wide, but he was good. He was, for as big as he was, pretty quick feet. He was good. He's, one of the better players, but it's just crazy that people can be that big. It doesn't seem normal.
And they're both athletes.
Yeah, and athletic, and and that's another thing too. Growing up here, we didn't have big kids, tall kids.
No.
We might have had a 6'3". Jay Van Tassel was maybe right in that range, 6'2", 6'3", and Rowdy was maybe an inch shorter than him. But even all across 1A, it was just really never. You might get one here and there that's a little taller. But we'd play Leighton Christian once in a while, and they had a couple kids that were taller, 6'4", 6'5".
Private school kids.
Yeah. But we didn't grow up around height. Like our kids right now, Brooklyn, if she keeps growing the way she is, she's going to be 6'2".
She has my height.
Yeah.
And she is.
Well, and your brother,
well
Jacob's pretty tall.
yes.
Well, Zach's pretty tall too,
All
I
of my
guess.
brothers are
Yeah,
tall. My
Michael.
dad is tall.
Yeah, your dad's fairly tall. But there's really no one in my family that's tall. The tallest one I could think of,
Your dad.
maybe Brett. I don't know if Brett's taller than my dad or not. I'll bet he is. But we don't have a lot of height in our family, and it shows because all of us are short and stubby.
Oh.
We don't have a lot. We was doing that work the other day. I was trying to clean the concrete out of the chutes, and I have this big. I found it on my truck. The end of it is like rounded, so it fits right in the chute. You can drag it down. It's got a pretty long handle on it.
Perfect.
I still couldn't reach up there. And one of the guys, he said something like, "Oh, you can be able to get that?" And I was like, "Well, I was blessed with so much height that I can't really reach all the way up in there, so I'll just get what I can get." But
Just
Yeah.
a little bit of
short arms, everything short. But it is what it is.
I'm tall. I'm tall for a girl,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Tall
But
girl.
luckily, you're not taller than me, so
Yeah.
that
I've got 3 inches.
that might
for
be a
ya.
little more awkward. So
Those are some bizarre couples.
yeah.
Bless them.
You ever seen Shaq's ex-wife?
No. What is she? Is she certified?
She's small. She's your height, maybe shorter.
5'7"?
She's pretty small. She
After I
might.
just said I was tall.
She might. The top of her
kidding.
head might hit his waist.
Oh my gosh.
She's pretty tall. I think it's his ex-wife. I'm
That's a
pretty
lot.
certain it
That's
is.
a view.
But that's crazy too. Is somebody that big?
Well,
Everybody you date or whoever you marry, they're all gonna be tiny.
and think about if you're gonna have children. She is about to carry a ginormous baby.
17-pound kid. Yeah. That'd be so weird.
Yeah, that would be hard. You would also have to pick another like WNBA star or something.
Well, even WNBA stars, they're not that tall. A couple of them are taller, but not Shaq tall.
Dang.
He's probably still got 1.5 feet easy on
Maybe it
him.
just should be illegal.
Gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Could you imagine the back problems you would get having to lean down, kiss your wife goodbye?
No, you just make her buy a stepladder.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, you don't lean down. You build a stepladder and you put it right in the one spot, so every time you leave, she just climbs right up and
she's like, I'm coming.
gives you a little hug and a little kiss, and out the door you go. Yeah,
she
you
could
don't.
stand on the balcony on the bridge of the.
Hold on, honey. Let me run upstairs. I'll meet you on the balcony. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I think we can probably wrap this up. We've hit an hour and 37 minutes. I
Alright.
swear just 10 minutes ago it was an hour, but yeah, I think we'll probably wrap it up. I have a couple more topics, but like I said, they're a little bit more extensive, and we got off on a couple tangents there, so
Well, I guess this wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
yeah, it's not too bad. That's
I'll probably come on again for you.
when all this last week I was kind of nervous about doing it with Dally.
Yeah.
Just, I've been calling the games with him, and the first time I did that I was nervous too. I don't know if it's just because I've never done anything like this before.
And that
I've never.
surprises me that you would get nervous because of that. But
Well,
you're
yeah, but
just a
you
talker,
don't-
man.
Well, yeah, but not in this situation. Like we run into someone out somewhere, yeah, I can sit there and talk forever. Which is why I wanted to do this, because I'm like, I could sit and talk to somebody
Yeah.
all day, but well, hopefully this first episode is a good one and worth watching, and it is long, so hopefully
and
people
we don't get canceled right off the
no
bat.
kidding, off of our extremely
Terrible terms.
what's
Use
the word
of
I'm
these
looking for, our
terms.
when a topic is, what am I trying to think of, controversial maybe.
Controversial.
Yeah, controversial statements,
But we
but
mean
any-
well. We don't mean
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
ill.
it's all in fun. So, but this we'll be doing these every week. We'll have a new episode each week. We will be on Spotify and we will be on YouTube. This episode should be up. I maybe already mentioned it, but possibly tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll be up Monday. So, yeah, we appreciate anybody that tunes in and watches, and we hope you have fun. I'm not Joe Rogan, so I won't have people on here that can really educate you and get you up to speed on certain things. But I think this will be fun. I've already got a list of enough people to get me through a few months if I bring one a week, and so sometimes I'm sure people won't be able to come. There is an option on here to do virtual, so if that's what we do it that way. But I'm excited. Get the first one out of the way. You kind of get the nerves out of the way. Not
You
worried
make
about it so much.
A lot of mistakes, and you learn a lot.
But that's, speaking of mistakes, that's one thing that I'll just say right now for anybody that's still here, that's listened this long. I'm not going to do this like most podcasts. I'm not going to edit anything. It's just going to be a first take release. The only thing I'm going to do, there will be the little intro jam. But other than that, it's just straight up
As real as it
raw
gets.
content. Yeah, there's not going to be any editing, no adding, no deleting, no changing, nothing like that. I did have to change on me and Dally's. I had to change our names because they called him Daily Defy or something like that. And surprisingly, the AI that's on here that we don't have a choice in using, we have to, but it had my name right, other than it missed the E, so I just had to add the
I wonder
E.
how it will spell my name.
Yeah, I don't know. Yours is pretty. It might do Kaitlyn wrong because there's like 5 different ways to spell Kaitlyn.
At least.
But I guess we'll find out. So, but
I guess
anyway,
we'll
guys.
find out if our FBI agent is in the computer.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no kidding. But anyway, guys, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll tune in and spread the word that we're doing this. The podcast is called Talkin Nonsense. So, like I said, it will be on YouTube. It will be on Spotify. I don't get on Facebook much anymore. Actually, I don't get on at all anymore. But I will probably go on at least once, and I'll share the link to both podcasts, to this one and the one with Dally, which is called the GD1A Sports Podcast. And again, it'll just be about 1A sports, so we'd love to have you there too if that's something you'd want to listen to. And hopefully as we do this, we get a little better. We have some interesting conversations and just have fun with it. But you can expect to see us once a week, and hopefully
I'll come back.
hopefully have a lot of fun. Yeah,
I'll
I
come
kind of
back.
figured once you did it, you wouldn't be so
Noiseless.
worried about it. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you. We'll see you next week.